Miracles, 831-08. Most Christian denominations believe in miracles in some form. The Church of Thomas sees miracles as constant reminders of God's love and presence. The definition of a miracle is something that occurs beyond the laws of nature. There is variation of this definition that calls for human agent to facilitate the miracle. We do not believe there needs to be an agent to have a miracle manifest. An example of an agent would be Moses asking for God to judge the Egyptians with the plagues. The next act of Moses with God's strength was parting the Red Sea. The next miracle was provisions of food and water for the people who had escaped from slavery in Egypt. Without these miracles, the Jews would have continued in slavery. They would have been slaughtered at the water's edge. They would have starved to death before making their way to the Promised Land. Jesus had many healings that were counted among the miracles he did. He was reported to calm a storm. He walked on water. He raised the dead in the form of his good friend Lazarus. Jesus slipped in and out of dangerous situations where he should have been arrested. Jesus fed people from meager stores of food. He also changed the makeup of water to wine. There are many examples of miracles throughout the Bible. They inspire those who believe in them. If you saw a miracle, how would it affect you? Would you want to find out what really happened? Would you give credit where it belongs and applaud a wonderful performance? Jesus saw the shortcomings and drawbacks of miracles firsthand. Some verses that illustrate these concerns of Jesus follow. In Matthew 11:20-24, Jesus criticized the cities that saw and benefited from Jesus' miracles. He mentioned that if Sodom had benefited from seeing these miracles, they would not have needed to be destroyed. They would have turned from sin with half the evidence of God's love. In Mark 3:10-3:12, Jesus tried to remain anonymous. He tried to inspire faithful and not become a spectacle. Unfortunately, the people Jesus healed found it very hard to keep it to themselves. They told everyone they could about what wonders Jesus did. They told Jesus' enemies about what he did. As a result, Jesus became what he sought so hard not to be. He became a celebrity, a star, and a performer. So many people showed up that he had to go offshore in a boat to speak without being pursued. Everyone wanted to see the show. Jesus knew that the image of being a magician doing magic was what drew these crowds, not an interest in learning about God. Jesus felt miracles affirm faith in people ready to see it. Those that were not ready would only see a show. In those people, it does not create faith. The Pharisees sought to associate Jesus with magic and support from demons. The response Jesus gave was later used by Abraham Lincoln to mend a nation. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Jesus was saying that if he hurt, bound, and cast out demons, he could not be working with them because it would have divided Satan's house. In Luke 11:29-11:32, Jesus chided the Jews in their ever bigger call for miracles. It needed reinforcing constantly, like the flagging faith they experienced during the Exodus. Jesus had better success pulling the faithful from the Gentiles because it took far less miracles to have the same effect of strengthening faith. They were not jaded by being blessed all along by miracles. We in the Church of Thomas do not do healings in public because it is not for show. It is meant as a reaffirmation of God's love. The ones that put on a great show are mostly, if not all, charlatans. Jesus taught another way. We never accept money or donations for doing God's will. We might testify as to what we felt or experienced, but we do not parade the healed around to drum up more business. Unfortunately, the people most likely to go to a charlatan are at the end of their hope. They are desperate to find relief, healing, and renewal. I have known many people who went from one of these healers to another, thinking that they just had not found the right one. In these shows, every single ailing person is shaking and being banged on the head, and purportedly, everyone has been healed. Sometimes these healers will put a fake in among the hopefuls. This person is called a shill. They are all crippled up when they go up, and then they throw away their crutches dramatically and walk all over the stage giving credit to the healer. In my experience, there is a real disconnect between what I see in these shows and what I have felt. The first difference is I do not know God will allow the healing at all. That is God's will. I can do nothing without that permission. All of what I have felt has gone through me, not from me. I know the difference because at one time I used my own strength to heal. It was not even a candle compared to the sun, comparing the difference between the two feelings. Like a pipe that funnels healing, my experiences were mostly as just a pipeline, not an active agent. Because I do not want people to be disheartened if the desire I have to heal is not supported by God. I generally do not tell them I am attempting it. The healing is sometimes a gradual lessening of symptoms. There was one time that it was very dramatic. The verification for that person did not come until she had an x-ray proving what we had already both felt. There was a man that shared a story of being beaten because he was gay. They had a baseball bat. Even after the doctors did what they could, he still had a badly damaged knee and a detached retina. I felt such love for this man that I took his hand while he talked about his ordeal. I just wanted to comfort him. I asked God to ease his pain, nothing specific. He did feel comforted by my holding his hand at the time. He was one who later told me what had been the more long-term results of my compassion. His doctor was going to schedule a procedure to reattach his retina. During the appointment, it was discovered that it was healed already. His knee was also almost healed in those few days between when I met him and his appointment. Last, it is not me, it is God. When credit is given, I take a really far back seat. Miracles unfold in God's time, with God's will. It is up to the faithful not to exaggerate, but to share what we have experienced. It is our role to see the miracles and not the shows. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.